Great Scott! They've got rid of air mode! Or have they? Let's find out. So what you can see on screen right now is a flight controller running iNav 2.5.2, and this is basically as standard and a default as setup as I can get. I've literally just flashed the firmware with a full chip erase, calibrated the accelerometer, added a mixer, and turns the motor outputs on just to get rid of the error messages. The only other thing I've also done is move the top row of OSD values down just so that they're visible on my screen grabber. So as you can see, this is what you're all used to right now. What I can do is pop up this screen. We're in configurator 2.0.5 and I'll just do a quick version. So you can see we're running 2.5.2 on the board. So what I'm going to do is get rid of this. I'm going to load up configurator 2.6. You can see it on the screen as well. It's just popped up. And what we're going to do is go in the firmware flasher. I'm going to load the 405 SE. I'm going to turn off full chip arrays so it's not going to overwrite anything apart from the firmware. And we're going to do a flash. So when this comes back, you'll see what the difference is. Okay, so we've successfully flashed, and what I will do is connect, which should reboot the flight controller. You can see we're now on 2.6.0 and we've got Acro. What's happened to air mode? And as you can see from this, nothing has changed whatsoever as far as the flight controller settings gone. So before I carry on, what I will say is if you went into configuration and disabled permanently enabled air mode, you would not have seen air in the first place. It's only if you have this enabled or if you have it on a switch potentially. What's happened? Basically just a bit of bug fixing as far as a label goes. The thing with air mode is it's not actually a flight mode, it's a modifier for flight modes. And for some reason, and it's been this way in beta flight and all sorts for a long time, but when you put it on, instead of showing Acro, it showed air mode. And I'm guessing it's because on quads most of them just fly in Acro anyway. A lot of videos you see on YouTube, if you've got a 5-inch quad or up, if you don't use Acro, you're sort of frowned upon. Even in the beginning they say stick with Acro because otherwise you learn bad habits. And air mode was something that the people at Betaflight made to make the quads handle better. So what air mode actually does is increase the control responsiveness at 0 throttle. It's not in itself a flight mode, it's just something that sits on top of a flight mode. And in all honesty, even back with Betaflight, you could have put air mode on top of angle or horizon as well. So the fact that it replaced Acro on the OSD just doesn't make sense as far as actual flight modes go. So that's why I got rid of it. So from now on, if you are flying a model and you have, even with air mode permanently enabled or on a switch, you will see the actual flight mode you're flying. Thinking of air mode, it works in a very similar way to altitude hold. Altitude hold in itself is not a flight mode. You add it to sort of angle or 3D cruise to add an altitude lock. Manual won't use air mode whatsoever. Everything else, if you've got it permanently enabled, will. So having it in the OSD didn't really make much sense in the first place. But don't worry, it's not gone anywhere. The functionality is still there. So at low throttle, you'll still get the stabilization working and the PID loop working. That's all good. It's literally just the labeling on the OSD that's changed, which will actually help sort out issues. So if someone new to iNav comes in and says I was flying air mode and this happened, now they'll actually come and say we were flying in Acro, which is the correct flight mode. So anyway, that's all that's happened. It's just a visual change. The way everything works is the same. I just thought I'd put a video out there to explain why I did it. So thank you very much guys for watching. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. This will help get the video out to more people so they know what's happened with Airmode. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.